she's saying now about getting a mouthful of Madonna on stage. She graduated from High School Musical, went wild as a spring breaker. Now Vanessa Hudgens is telling you how she's putting a new spin on 2 classic roles.
Oh, Gigi.
And Train is pulling into The View to belt out their latest hit.
A bulletproof Picasso.
This is The View with Whoopi, Nicole Wallace, Rosie Perez. And today, Candace Cameron Bure and Michelle Collins jump back in the co-host chair. It all starts now.
To The View, y'all. Welcome to The View. So, election season is finally here. Yeah. Florida Senator Marco Rubio announced that he's running for president, and he started things off with a little bit of a pot shot at his competition, Hillary Clinton. Take a look.
Now, just yesterday, a leader from yesterday began a campaign for president by promising to take us back to yesterday. Yesterday is over.
True words. Yesterday is over. He's right about that.
Listen, I know Marco Rubio a little bit. We both participated in a literacy event for Barbara Bush, and I spent some time with him. I read his book. He has a great story, and he most successfully capitalized on Hillary Clinton's announcement. I mean, he most successfully bracketed that announcement. And this, I mean, anyone that, if you love Hillary Clinton, you have to acknowledge that her greatest challenge is going to be running as something new and fresh. People are nodding in the audience. I imagine this is a place where people are very supportive of her. Now, Marco's challenge, though, is in the Republican Party. One of his greatest mentors and supporters was Jeb Bush. He's also running for the Republican nomination. So on my side of the aisle, there's almost like an inter-family sort of tension
It's
between.
a little crowded over there.
It's
really going to come down to
side that it's crowded.
Who's going to be able to deliver Florida?
Do you
Because
have any women?
Republicans.
Carly Fiorina will probably jump in, and she's tough as nails. I hope she comes and sits
Nicole,
here.
if you want me to run, just ask. I will do it on either side. I would make an amazing president.
I just want to caution Marco. I can call you Marco, can't I, Marco?
You can. You'd be cool with it.
Be careful about pointing at yesterday, because you were there yesterday. You've been on the scene for a little while. So, you know, the biggest challenge that you guys are going to have is eventually you're going to have a position that works for the American people. So, y'all know, as we know, that you got 18 months, 19 months of this. We got 19 months of this. Find your position and make it work. Quit the pot shots. Those will come later. If she can't get up the stairs, then you can say something. You know what I mean?
Do you think that he's a real threat, by the way? Do you think he's a real threat?
Well, I think,
Marco?
listen, we were talking.
Everyone's a real threat.
Everyone's a threat.
Everyone's in the game is a real threat.
Right.
Okay. And I think that with Rubio, I think he should really concentrate on the issues, as you said. Yeah. And one of the issues that is really important is immigration. He is the one that helped make that immigration reform bill and then backed away from it because of the border security. And I know that pissed off the Tea Party, you know, but it also upset a lot of people who want immigration reform. Yeah. And also in regards to he wants to roll back Obamacare, that's going to be a problem.
That's
going to be a problem because his own father, who passed away, in all due respect to your father, Marco Rubio's own word was that Medicaid allowed his father to pass with dignity. And so it's an issue. And
he also doesn't believe in climate climate change. I mean, let me just throw that out there and let's mull that over. He like goes against the science that like 97% of scientists say that we're going through this climate change. He's not on board.
Go ahead, baby.
Well, as a woman that I feel like I've just been in mommyhood for the last 16 years I have with my kids, so I'm so excited about this presidential race because I feel like it's the first one I'm really invested in because I feel like I go to the voting poll to vote, but I've just kind of gotten the cliff notes from friends and family and people that I know would have the same viewpoints that I would in politics. So I'm really interested in this. I lived in Florida for 9 years, so I'm excited to hear what Marco Rubio has to say, what Jeb Bush has to say.
And speaking of Florida, the issue of Cuba is so delicate. And Marco Rubio being a Cuban and his parents being immigrants, I mean, it's so hard to call which side you should go on because he has a point. You know, the regime is not changing their stance on how they treat their people over in Cuba, and it's been horrendous. People are risking their lives. In the 90s, like close to 20,000 people died in the waters just trying to get to freedom to the United States.
If you came from Haiti, you didn't get in.
You didn't get in. There you go.
You know, so there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, but something had to change in Cuba. Something had to change because what was happening wasn't working. So it's very complicated.
Yeah. You know, Marco Rubio, is not the only one unhappy about Hillary running for president. There's another potential, and I think fabulous candidate who is beside himself right now. Take a look.
I want to run for president.
Instead of Hillary?
I want to run for president.
Take this in.
I want to run for president.
What would you do if you were president? Play? Can you take that out and tell me? Play?
With toys.
He's actually displaying more maturity than a lot of our candidates. Am I wrong? Very mature.
And keep an eye out for this young man, because something tells me we're going to be watching this when he's 27 and running for president.
I'll be bringing that video out.
Robert Bates. This is a tough story, so I'm going to just try to get to it. He's the 73-year-old reserve deputy who killed a suspect when he mistook his gun for a taser while trying to subdue a man who was already being restrained by real police officers. The gentleman is an insurance exec. The hell is he doing on a real sting operation with a real gun? Why is he, what the hell?
Well, you know, there's a legitimate line of questioning. We don't have all the information, but we do know that he gave a lot of money and he donated a lot of guns to the police department. So I think that reporters are talking about digging into whether or not he paid for his access.
I don't like that people can pay to be in a police car with a gun. Let me just say that it's like I don't want to have someone paying to like be next to a surgeon at Cedars-Sinai. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't have to pay to be a deputy officer.
No, you
don't have to pay. You don't have to pay.
You have to go through basic training.
No, but you should have to pay to do like
This cost a man. Go ahead, baby.
It's horribly tragic. It should never happen.
No.
But it is important that we do have reserve deputies because when there are riots, when there are civil issues that we need extra help, it's important that we have people on reserve trained standby. But here's the issue: the taser gun. The taser gun that he used has the exact handle of that of a real gun.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
why don't we make lipstick with a
have that. They have to change those tasers so there could never be a mistake that way.
He's the variable because I think every cop carries that taser and gun. So I think
people that aren't doing that actively every single day, that's a serious issue.
Yeah, but protecting protest and protecting other issues is very different from being on a major sting operation.
I don't disagree with you.
And I just think that it wasn't a wise
within the department to figure that out.
With all that's going on, okay? With all that's going on in this country, with people being shot by officers, why would you put yourself as a police department, why would you put yourselves in a position of being questioned this way? You would, I'm sorry, if you're a deputy or what is it, what is he called? He's a reserve.
Yeah.
If he's a reservist, then you need to keep him in reserve. You know, you need to keep him for the
writing a parking ticket to me.
There is no reason for that man to be dead right now. There is no reason. And I'm sorry, but if this has happened once, We need to really make sure, because the police are under siege. You know, the police departments across the country are under siege, some for very good reason. This didn't have to happen, and there are questions you're going to have to answer. It's just a pain in the ass, but that's the way life goes. It should never have happened. But listen, you want to...
Yeah.
This is a message from Rosie for all of us. Go ahead.
Yes. We want to send out our best to the dear and the most talented and wonderful, sweet Rita Wilson, who has announced she is undergoing a double mastectomy. Yes, she was co-starring in the play that I am with, Fish in the Dark, starring Larry David, and we dearly miss her, and we wish you well, and we can't wait till you come back, and we just send our love, Rita, all of us.
We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Pink is getting slammed for looking like this. How she's getting the last word on fat shaming online.
But take a look and see if you really buy that this is real. Take a look.
I am acting here, and this wanders onto my set.
Dennis.
Don't Dennis me. I am doing my job here. I am a pro. This is the most unprofessional set I have ever been on.
Wait, I love him. Can I just say that? I have new respect. I think he's joking, obviously, right?
I think this is a setup too.
I love it.
But I love a hoax.
He has the best jokes, I mean, on Ellen that I've watched. I mean, when he's like, Dennis
go back.
Like,
this wasn't real?
Girl, no.
I look real to me. Why did the camera get so bad if he wasn't scared that he was...
That's how smart they are.
I think that was real, and the filmer wasn't as brave as some other...
Have you seen any of his other so-called real videos?
No, are they all like that?
They're all kind of like that. But you look them up and see. I don't think... there are certain catchphrases that an actor would never use.
Like, I'm acting here? That... Even I knew that one.
The other big clue is this has really happened with several actors.
Christian Bale, throw that out.
People saw it and stuff. So I don't think that Dennis would go on a tirade surrounded by cameras and not think someone was going to leak it if it was real. So there's a lot of, Dennis, you're good. But I ain't buying it. You know, everybody is talking about this on stage. Really? Good God. Did one of the girls fall out? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me pick it up. Put it back up on there. Let me get it over my shoulder. Yeah. Okay. So, everyone is talking about this on stage. Well, not everyone, but some people were talking about this moment between Drake and Madonna at the Coachella Music Festival last weekend. If you missed it, here you go. Yeah.
It looks like she's sucking the youth out of him, don't you think? Like, I mean, she's going for it. Like, I don't know, he didn't look into it. He looked kind of upset by that, guys.
Kind of like wiping his mouth and like spitting it out.
Can the control room show us his wiping of the... Yeah.
He's like fighting her.
You know what? Okay, that hand and then this move. That does not look like a man that just enjoyed what just happened.
It looks like when your mother like licks her finger to wipe something off your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like...
She uses her tongue and on her lips. I don't know.
She's so hot. I'm sure there are lots of men that would like to be kissed by her, but he didn't look like one of them.
Well, apparently he's saying now that he was actually into the kiss, but he had an issue with the lipstick she was wearing.
Do me a favor. Of course he has to say he's into it because it's like insulting if he, you know what I mean, like doesn't explain that reaction, which is clearly
really
from the gut,
lipstick?
you know?
What was it? Chili pepper lipstick? What?
Of course, you got that meatloaf lipstick.
Meatloaf lipstick. How about this? I love Pink. I think Pink is fabulous. So she was photographed at an event Saturday night, and she was slammed by those boneheads online. And yeah, I'm talking about Joel, and I don't care. Email me. You want to tweet me. I don't care. I'm not listening to you. It's your boneheads. For supposedly gaining weight. She had a baby, dummies.
She looks awesome there. Was that the picture?
Well, I don't understand. sometimes I wish we want to stop the fat shaming. It's horrible, but we got to stop talking about it in the sense to stop talking about it.
She's not fat. She's not fat. That's the point. She's not fat. She's not fat. Well, but here's her response. Here's her response to critics.
Okay, so Pink responded on Twitter. She said, please don't worry about me. I'm not worried about me, and I'm not worried about you either. Happy face, but you know there was some shade in that face. You know what I mean? I'm perfectly fine, perfectly happy, and my healthy, voluptuous, strong body is having some much-deserved time off. Thank God for that, honestly. She, by the way, looks prettier than ever. I love her.
What happened to the free range? I thought we were going to talk about the free range. Yeah, the Maryland couple known as free range parents. They're back in trouble again after cop picked up their 10- and 6-year-olds who were playing without parental supervision in a park a couple of blocks from their house. Now, people are flipping out. Some people say they are wrong and they should never let their kids walk by themselves anywhere because, my God, something could happen. Or, you know, are they just, you know, saying, listen, this is part of being a kid?
Listen, I think you've got to act in a range. I'm a hoverer. I will confess, I hover. I don't let my son like down the slide without. He started to say like, "Mommy, Liam, go by himself now. Bye." So I'm like the other extreme. But they're obviously acting outside of a normal range of behavior if the cops keep picking up their kids. You know?
Yeah, but you know what? There are a lot of latchkey kids. You know, where parents that work and they don't have that luxury.
That's not their situation.
No, I know it's not their situation, but I'm saying the bigger discussion of having your kids wander about, because this is an issue that will affect other parents and other kids. And so that said, I mean, I remember how dangerous it was for me as a kid walking around Brooklyn. It was really, really scary, but I had no choice. I had to do it. My aunt was working. And, you know, but if I had parents at home that could walk me to and from, I wish they would have, right? Yeah. You know, I just wish it was
crazy is that the cops, by the way, picked up the kids, took them to the precinct, but didn't notify the parents, and the parents were like losing their minds. But then it's like, well, would you rather have a cop do it or like a guy in a white van? You know what I mean? In a way, it was a bit of a lesson.
I do think that people are getting very hypersensitive, though, with the protection of their kids. Listen, I'm a mom of 3 kids. My kids' safety is incredibly important to me, but I think that sometimes we downplay the intelligence of our kids and the responsibility, and we really need to know how responsible our child is at what age, because we can look at in other countries where there are 10-year-olds taking care of an entire household. They're being mommy.
When do I move there?
I don't think it's not about not trusting your kids. It's about not trusting the other people that are around you.
But I think we also have tools like phones and cameras and FaceTime that we can check in.
Kids are on their phones too much. I think we need to take the phones away from kids, to be honest with you. I might think of that. That's a separate conversation. But you agree.
I'm sorry. We have to go to break, but I am going to comment on this because, you know, at some point, you have to give parents the ability to say, we trust our kids. I've taught my kids what to do. You can't assume that the kids don't know or the parents are idiots. You can't just make that assumption. You have to work with the parents. You can't take the kids and hide them, because that's kind of a crappy thing to do, particularly if you're in power. I'm just saying. We'll be right back with more on topic.
How's this for extra baggage? The stowaway stuck below deck who freaked out of flight. Next.
Kids are on spring break. I mean, is spring break something that's going to end because all this nuttiness is happening, or is this par for the course now?
It's really scary. I mean, everyone is basically on drugs. They're so drunk, and there's no one kind of policing it. It's just like a big rave, like basically.
And you have kids closest to the age where they would go. How do you feel about it?
Right. Well, I even dealt with going Coachella this weekend. My 16-year-old daughter's mom, I really want to go, and I said, well, no. I said, no, I don't think it's the environment for you. There might be great bands playing, but I'm not comfortable at your age that for you to be be in that environment.
I wasn't comfortable at 30, by the way, going to Coachella for what it's worth.
It was down to spring break and parenting and how you've taught your kids. And of course, they need to be responsible and make good decisions.
Did you guys remember Where the Boys Are with Connie Francis?
Where the boys are.
It was in the 50s, wasn't or somewhat, and it's about these group of girls that go down to spring break and how they were trying to say no. The whole movie was about them saying no to guys advancing, putting advances on them, and then you have Spring Breakers with, you know, with one of our guests, and that was like where the boys are on steroids. But the issue was the same. The issue was the same, was young girls going down to spring break and being in a very vulnerable position.
That's why you have to raise your kids dorky, by the way. Like, make sure you raise nerds, because they're not going to want to go to spring break. Am I right?
Yeah, that's not true. They're not on steroids. They're binge drinking, and I saw some video last night. No, but I'm just saying the problem now is that there's ready access to alcohol, and what's so disturbing to me, the videos I've seen coming out of spring break this week, and you all know I have issues already. I'm a hoverer. My son's only 3, so this may be an extreme interpretation, I confess, but it looks like kids aren't being taught to wave a red flag when they see something really bad happening to another kid, and that's what freaks me out, and that could happen anywhere. If they're, you know,
it's empathy.
People are barfing on the beach, like, go get a doctor.
Well, the barfing has always happened at spring break. That's why you never want to go to the beach after spring break. But the thing that is missing, and it's been disappearing over, I think, the last 20 years, is the empathy. You know, people never would stand around and watch someone be abused and killed or raped or taken, you know, and you just, that is something that we have to sort of look at as parents and what we're teaching our kids.
That's why I am in the decision-making process with my kids of choosing their friends.
You choose their friends?
Yes. I mean, how do you
I mean,
listen.
So scary.
When my kids want to hang out with someone, listen, I don't say...
No, go ahead.
I don't choose them in the sense where I say this is who you're going to hang out with, but if they bring a friend over that I have hesitation and reservation about, I'm going to say I don't want you to hang out with that friend, and then we have other friends, and here are your choices
like The Bachelor,
that you can have.
Right? They come in,
it's good. But from a young age, so then when they get older, I mean, my daughter has been offered drugs so many times, and she will tell me, and she's like, Mom, I'm not hanging out with them because that's what they're doing, and I think as a 16-year-old, choosing them at those younger ages, she has become responsible herself.
Not that she's not to worry, though. I mean, you know, Romeo and Juliet. I mean, sometimes kids rebel against their parents. It's an age-old story. I mean, do you worry that all that involvement in who they hang out with will backlash against you at some point?
No, I'd rather be invested in my children and do the best job that I think that I can, and ultimately they'll make their own decisions. But I know that I've put everything into it in helping them make wise decisions.
And this is just not for nothing, but you can raise your kids as well as you can, and sometimes they make bad choices. And you hope for the best.
They can always come back.
And well, y'all know how I feel about flying. I try not to do it. And here is reason 700,044 why I avoid air travel. A baggage handler fell asleep in the cargo hold of the flight, and then the plane took off. Oh my God. When he woke up, he was like, oh, snap. I'm in the air. What the hell? So he's knocking on the floor of the cabin, completely freaking out the passengers. The flight was diverted. He got out okay, but wait a minute.
It sounds to me, lots of leg room down there. I'm just saying, I like the sound of it. I'm like, how do I get under into that cargo hold?
I want to know how it's possible that no one checks the freaking plane before it takes off. I'm sorry, with all the terrorists in the world. Speaking of, who is it? Hello, everybody. Yes.
This is your lucky day because I brought some delicious Edna Valley Vineyard Chardonnay. It's Chardonnay, baby. Now, Edna Valley Vineyard has been making quality wine from California's Central Coast for 35 years. And to celebrate, we're giving you a chance to win a vineyard view vacation of a lifetime. That's right. That's right, a view vacation of a lifetime. One lucky grand prize winner and their guests will win a trip to San Luis Obispo and a VIP tour of Edna Valley Vineyard with guess who? Guess who? Come on, guess. with me! With me! So, it's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. So to enter this fantastic contest, send The View a fun and creative video telling us about yourself and why you and 3 friends deserve a vineyard viewcation.
On how much energy you have. Like, it's always different and it's so fun. I love the live aspect of it. Forgetting lines, keeps you on your toes.
The audiences never notice anything. I always think it's perfect, but
yeah,
you know,
it's fun. And then you have like little stories for yourself.
I think you're amazing, and obviously you're getting great reviews in Gigi, but was it daunting? I mean, this is a role played by Audrey Hepburn and the great Leslie Caron, and you said actually that you felt out of place auditioning for this role. Why was that?
Well, auditioning's horrible to begin with.
Really?
It's just like the worst, you know, it's the worst process ever because you're stuck in a room, you don't have a set, you don't have props, you're not in costume, you don't have the other actor to work off of. It's just people staring at you and judging you.
That's me every day, for the record. I feel like I leave the house and I feel that way. I have to say, I saw Gigi on Sunday, and if you're in New York, you have daughters especially, you have to see Gigi. It's so amazing, and I'm really not just saying that because they barely pay me to be here. I really mean it. It's amazing. I heard that you celebrated Easter in a very fun way at the theater. What did you guys do?
Our director put together a little Easter egg hunt for us, but it wasn't like your stereotypical Easter egg hunt. In the eggs were lottery tickets and little booze bottles. Except they didn't really fit, so they had to like tape the egg together.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's like intervention Easter. I love that. My kind of Easter. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Welcome to Broadway.
Yeah.
So, but even before you started high school musicals, you were a triple threat. You started out in stage productions as a kid, including playing Cindy Lou in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and we have a clip. Let's take a look.
Coachella is going on right now, the big music festival out near Palm Springs. You've been dubbed the Queen of Coachella, Vanessa, because of your beautiful fashions. How heartbroken are you that you can't be there this year?
Extremely! I'm so sad. I mean, I have a good excuse. I'm on Broadway. It's amazing, but I love nothing more than being able to run around a field with no shoes, listening to amazing music, making new memories with my best friends.
See Madonna make out with Drake.
That too. Not something you see every day. No, but I just love it so much.
And you're very busy these days. You're also about to take on